Hi guys, Dajiahao, bonjour et bienvenue to Frenchy Teaches Cocktails. In today's episode, we're gonna go over the Moscow Mule. And no, the drink does not come from Russia, instead it comes from 1940s LA. Once again, the story accuracy is highly debatable. But you know, you don't need a story to be true as long as it is good, especially in a bar after a few drinks. So the story goes, we are in 1941 in LA, in a pub called the Cock and Bull. And there is a man called John G. Martin. He has an issue. He is importing Russian vodka, swarmed off, and he cannot seem to be able to sell it. Americans are used to their whiskeys and gin, and vodka is absolutely not popular at the time. So he's complaining to his good friend, Jack Morgan, the owner of the venue, who is actually in a similar predicament. He has way too much stock of ginger beer that he doesn't seem to be able to sell to his customer. The two men, and most likely with the assistance of the bartender at the time called West Price, come up with a drink that will combine for the first time vodka, ginger beer with a squeeze of lime. The drink is an instant hit. And as coincidence tends to happen, another person, a Russian woman called Sophie Berezensky, joins the two men. She has as well a business predicament. She just inherited from her father a company that manufactures copper mugs, and same, she doesn't seem to be able to sell it. This is the last piece of the puzzle, and the iconic Moscow Mule will be named a few days later. Moscow probably refers to where the spirit originally comes from, and mule refers to the kick, the spicy ginger kick the drink has. The drink will be then popularized by Martin himself, who would go from bar to bar with his Polaroid, taking a picture of the bartender holding a bottle of smeared off and a copper mug. He would take two pictures, one to give the bartender, the other for his portfolio, so he could go to the next bar and convince the bartender of the popularity of the Moscow Mule. He single-handedly managed to make vodka a spirit of choice in the US, and this is before mass marketing and social media. The guy was truly a genius marketer. Let's take a minute and talk about the Moscow Mule mug itself. Before, they would be entirely made of copper. However, copper has a slight risk of contamination. When in contact with an acidic solution, it might react and dissolve into the drink itself. At concentration over 1 milligram per liter, this would lead to copper poisoning. However, there is no proof that even all traditional copper mug might be dangerous if used. Modern manufacture of Moscow Mule mugs have an inside coating made with another metal which remove the health worries entirely. Why would we still use copper then? Why don't we simply switch entirely to another metal? Well, beyond the very cool look copper has, that unique color, copper is a thermo-conductor, meaning that it can transfer temperature very easily, heat or in our case cold. And this contributes to the very refreshing aspect of a Moscow Mule. The mug itself will be at the temperature of the ice liquid inside it. It will feel extremely cold to the touch and to your lips. However, the drink will warm up quite quickly because of that thermo-conductive nature of the copper, and it will have a ton of condensation. So, whereas thermoconductivity is a perk or not is debatable, the Moscow Mule mug is so ingrained into that iconic drink that any decent cocktail bar will be stocked with a few of those Moscow Mules. So most Moscow Mule recipe call for building the drink straight into the glass. You add some ice, your vodka, you top it up with some commercial bottled ginger beer, squeeze a bit of lime in it, and call it a day. We are not gonna do that. We're gonna step up the game a little bit and take it from a mixed drink to a proper cocktail. For our Moscow Mule, we're gonna take a fresh lime. We're gonna use about half of it. I'm just gonna cut it into small pieces, and we're gonna add it to our small tin. To that, we're gonna add a little bit of simple syrup, a quarter ounce or about 7.5 ml of simple. We will be using a homemade ginger beer that has a little sugar inside it. So this will have some sweetener. We're gonna add 2 dashes of saline solution. Once again, to curb that bitterness, enhance the sweetness, enhance the citrus. We're gonna use a fruit muddler. It's simply a stick with a top that has teeth in it. So we're gonna use it to muddle our lime. Muddling lime is very different than using a squeeze lime juice. By muddling it straight into the tin like that, I'm extracting the oils from the skin, and we are getting a tiny bit of that bitterness from the piece, from the white part of the citrus. To muddle properly, really put your weight into it and give it a twist. The drink is well muddled when there is no more resistance anywhere whatsoever. Little tip as well, do not add your spirit when muddling. If there is too much liquid, it might splash out. So just muddle your citrus with your sweetener, your saline, and bitters if any. Alright, to that, we're gonna add, you guessed it, smeared off vodka. I'm reaching for smeared off for historical reason. However, any decent vodka will make a decent Moscow Mule. And we're gonna follow with 2 ounces of vodka. A little advice here, because the drink has muddled lime, and so we don't have an exact measurement of how much lime juice we are putting in, give it a quick taste to check your sweet-sour balance. It should be still quite on the sour side. There is a little bit of sugar in our ginger beer. And now we are going to ice it. This time, don't put too much ice. We are not gonna strain it, so put exactly the right amount. Here I'm gonna be using 5 of my ice cubes. As always, seal it, give it a powerful shake. Break the seal. Here we're gonna dump it straight into the mug. Right. Last step, we're gonna top it up with that homemade ginger beer. I made a whole video on how to make a delicious, spicy, low sugar homemade ginger beer. You'll have a link right here and at the end of the video. I'm just gonna degaze it first a little bit so it does not splash over my Moscow Mule. Top it up nicely. Then we're gonna put a straw in the drink. Stir it well with an up and down motion to get that ginger inside the drink. Add a last splash, beautiful. And we're gonna finish with a lime wedge as a garnish. perfect. The drink is delightfully refreshing. The vodka is completely gone. You don't feel it at all. It's all about that lime and ginger play. The lime is fully here. It's enhanced with its oil that have been muddled into the drink. There is a sharp sourness, and you have a little bit of its depth of bitterness from it because we muddled it in. It complements perfectly that spicy, a little bit sweet and carbonated ginger beer. The drink feels extremely cold. You can't hold it by the body of the mug too long. It's easier to hold it by the handle because that copper does transfer that ice coldness to your hand quite quickly. This is the kind of drinks you can drink back to back. The first one, you done it right to quench your thirst, and then you can savor the second one. But like our previous cocktail, a Moscow Mule is actually a whole category of drinks. They are called either mules or buck, and there is lots of variation of the drink. I'm actually going to show you one of my favorite. It was a very popular drink on my previous bar, and we call it a Sichuan Mule. Let's get into it. For our first Moscow Mule variation, our Sichuan Mule, we're gonna go with gin instead of vodka, and we're gonna stop it at 1.5 ounce of gin, 1.5 ounce of 45 ml. And instead of muddled lime, this time I'm not looking for that added aroma, and I'm not looking for that added bitterness from the lime. This will come from our green Sichuan peppercorn infusion. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice. To that as well, we're gonna add, as previously, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup right in. As any of my sour recipe, we're gonna add 2 dash saline solution. And here I have a homemade Sichuan peppercorn infusion. I grew and harvested the Sichuan peppercorn myself while they were still green. And we're gonna add 1/2 ounce of it, which will effectively bring our spirit content to 2 ounces, like the previous Moscow Mule. As for glassware, we're gonna go the exact opposite as our Moscow Mule mug. This is made with metal as well. I believe it is aluminum, and the difference is it's double layered, which means that instead of being a thermo-conductor like the copper in our Moscow Mule mug, this is a thermo-insulator. We're gonna both the glass with 3 nice ice cubes and the tin. This time, as much ice as you want. The drink is gonna be double strained. Make a nice seal, shake it well. Break the seal. Strain into your glass. And as before, top it up with ginger beer. Hopla. Use a spoon to stir it and really go for that up and down motion. You want that ginger beer to really mix with the rest of the drink. Hopla! I really love that variation of a Moscow Mule. that Szechuan peppercorn infusion brings really something special to the drink. Szechuan peppercorn is numbing, a bit like clove, even more so than clove. So the numbing effect of the Szechuan peppercorn balances out the spiciness of the ginger very well. On top of that, Szechuan peppercorn is actually part of the citrus family, so it enhances that lime as well. And when it's green and young, Szechuan peppercorn has trace amount of menthol, reinforcing that refreshing effect. The drink is spicy, but not too much, sour and refreshing, with a tingling, numbing sensation. And here, the glassware is the opposite of a Moscow Mule mug. Actually, because today is hot and sunny, the glass itself feels warm to the touch. However, the drink itself is delightfully cold, and I have no condensation whatsoever onto the glass. This is truly fantastic. Hey guys, so today we learn how to make a badass Moscow Mule, and with it we introduce a new layer into our cocktail making, the spicy layer. Spiciness is not a taste, spiciness is a sensation. Other parts than your tongue of your body are sensitive to spiciness. Today we learn as well about the thermal properties of glassware. Something like copper that is highly thermo-conductive means you're gonna feel very, very cold, but the drink is gonna warm up quickly and you're gonna have a lot of condensation. Whereas something like this, a thermo-insulator, almost feels warm to the touch, but it keeps the drink cold much longer inside and has no condensation whatsoever. Next time we're going to introduce texture in our cocktails, and we're going to use egg white as texturant, and we're going to make our first fizz. So don't miss out, guys. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye, 再见, au revoir.